a solid burst of rain. The hissing, thrashing deluge of the high veldt had driven the hoe-wielders from the tobacco lands, and the old Hottentot had retired thankfully to the barn to work on a lambskin caress he was making for the mistress. There the children found him, though for the moment they were quiet as their father stepped in to ask old Hendrik, in his strong American accent, if this rain was likely to flush the Vaal too deep for crossing at the drift below. "Well, boss," answered he, "dis higher rain won't do it, perhaps, but I seen it pretty black up de river all dis mawnin', an' I reckon de drift's a gun to be too strong for goin' a visitin'." "Then I guess I ain't a tryin' it," decided the boss, withdrawing to the house. The children took up the subject. "Is it goin' to be just so big wide, oh, ta?" asked little Annie. "Well, Ankie," answered old Hendrik, "p'raps it ain't a goin' to be yust so wide's it was when Jackals danced de war dance, and Mensfreiter hit hissif on a rock into no bigger'n a watermelon. But it's a goin' to be too full fo' your daddy to go yust Centurin, true it." "Oh, ta! You never told us about that Mensfreiter at all," cried the little girl reproachfully. "Didn't I now?" cried old Hendrik. "Well, I'd ought to anyhow, 'cause it was mighty tough times for Jackals and Wolf dem days. Besides, dis is de same drift right higher below. You see," he went on, squaring himself on the sack of mealies which served him for a seat, "times was hard wid all sorts of folk dat year. De rinderpest come along, an' it just clean out all de game an' de buck, till Jackals an' Wolf dey may hunt all day an' dey may hunt all week an' Sunday, an' den dey won't get de shadda of a buck. Dey ha to keep on a drinkin' water to keep deer tummies from growin' front an' back together." "And what did Mrs. Jackals and little Ankie Jackals do for something to eat, then?" asked Annie anxiously. "Oh, dear was no Mrs. Jackals den," answered the old Hottentot cheerily. "Dis was long, for that dis was when Jackals and Wolf was young fellas, and don't only go roun' upsittin' wid de nices young misses dey can hear of. And it stand 'em in Han to be young fellas and to had no families. 'Cause de young fellas can scratch all day if dey like an' den deer ain't nothin' to eat. Well, you knows Jackals is mighty slim a gettin' scoff if deer's anybody else has some, but it wan' no use waitin' to steal what oder folk ain't polished off, 'cause deer ain't nothin' for oder folk to begin on, let alone to leave for him to sneak it. He yust ha to hump hissif an' rustle roun', if he's a gun, to get anythin'. And dis is where Jackalses bein' so smart come in handy. Wolf he keeps a gauntin' an' a wobblin' on otter de buck he tink he might see over de next rise, but Jackals he yust keep his eyes skinned to size up what's on de yonder side de ridge. Well, by he sees a farm where deer's a patch tobacco wanted tendin' to mighty bad, and de farmer is a leanin' on de gate an' first a lookin' at de row an' den a lookin' at de hoe, as if one ting he can't make up his mind where he's a gun to begin. An' as if for anoder ting he can't yust settle if he's goin' to start at all dis mawnin' nohow. Jackals he look, an' he sit down, an' he gun to brush de grass beheen him wid his tail, sorto slow an' like he's tinkin' pretty deep. He can't eat tobacco. He know dat, but de man what work in de tobacco he can eat something, and something a long shot better'n tobacco, he eat scoff. So Jackals he make up his mind and down he go to de farmer. "Monin', boss," says he. "Dairy tobacco, gin to look as if some of it's goin' to run wild and some of it goin' to choke, 'fore long," says he. "Oh, 'tain't nothin' to shout about yet," says de farmer. "A good man an' a good hoe soon set dat alright agin." "Well, what you reckon you's goin' to give de good man fo' us and de good hoe and doin' it?" Says Jackals straight out. I give him his scoff, and a twist o' tobacco, says de farmer, lazy like. "Who?" says Jackals. "Ain't you feared you'll send him to drink and to end up in de trunk wid all de money he'll have fo' spendin'?" And Jackals he fair sniff a bit. De man turn roun'. "You please yourself," says he. "I tink scoffs a lot in dese times, when de rinderpest is kill off not only all de meat but all de oxen too, so we can't fetch nothin' from nowhere." "Well, good scoff," axes Jackals, like he want to make de best of it. "Deer ain't ony one sort o' scoff at my place," says de man. "Same sort o' scoff I get mysef." "Well, you leave de hoe here and I see about it," says Jackals, and de man he yust drop dat hoe like it was hot, and off's home to sit in de cool and drink coffee. So Jackals he'd made a start anyhow. He'd got a job at least. But if you tink he's goin' to balance hissif on de end o' dat hoe, well, you's got hold o' de wrong ox dis time. He yust come along to wolf. "At last," says he. "At last I's got a sight to get some scoff anyhow." And he fetch a big ol' brief like as if a sack o' Kaffir corn flop off his back. "How's dat?" says wolf, a-sittin' down and proppin' hissif up wid his front foots, and his tongue hangin' out like a sheepskin. "Deer's a farmer de yonder side de ridge, and he wants somebody to do a bit in his tobacco, and he'll give us a share of his scoff same as hissif," says Jackals. And he look at wolf as if he ought to drop 2 tickies in de bag next time he goes to church, like an old dapper farmer when de rain saved de crop. But wolf he look at Jackals sort o' suspicious. "Do a bit in de tobacco?" says he. "Dat's work, ain't it?" says he. "And mighty glad to get it," says Jackals, out big and loud, makin' as if he was just wishin' deer was a hoe deer dis minute, so he could lick right in. "But work," says wolf, and he droop his head and he shake it slow and swingin'. "Well," says Jackals, sort o' like he's ponderin' it. "Dairy boss he reckon de man on de hoe is a gun, to be workin', but de man on de hoe he might reckon he don't know so much about dat. He might reckon he'll knock it off in his own time. He might suppose it's him to do it. And he might, 'member, dat de longer dat job last de longer his scoff last. See? Fathead," says he. "Well, I wants de scoff," says wolf. "Deer ain't no shadda 'bout dat. But, de work. I don't know," says he. "Now you look me," says Jackals, as if he was fair tired o' fool argyin'. "You knows me. Is I likely to make de grass fly much a workin'? Or is I de sort o' one to work at all if deer was any odor sniffed of a chance o' scoff?" says he. Wolf tink he know Jackals pretty well by dis time. No, says he, kind o' considerin'. I don't tink you'd work if deer was any oder chance, says he. Come along o me, den, says Jackals, and away dey pops. Jackals he bring Wolf along to de gate and he give him dairy ho. Dis is you, Patch, says he, mine's furder along on de yonder side de house. I'll bring de scoff at dinner time, and, in de meantime you yust get a sort o' wiggle on you, like's if you could work if you had to, and off he stalk till he get out o' sight. Den he flop down and bake hissif in de sun. Well, Wolf he gets a sort o' stroke on him like a bywoner dat tinks it's a pretty near time he shifted to some farm where dey don't raise no crops nohow, and den about an hour before noon along comes Jackal's agent, and he looks at what Wolf's done, and he slant his eye at what he ain't done, and he tinks deer's a fair little lot o' dat yet. Look up me, Wolf, says he. It's a comin' along to dinner time soon, but you yust about ain't if dat's all you's done yet. De boss he'll tink what I done, and he'll see what you ain't done, and den, why, dear you is. You ought to be sorry fo, Yusuf, when you looks at what you done. I yust is, says Wolf, and he ain't a considerin', for he esses it needer. I yust is, and he sort o' squint up at de sun to see how soon it's a gun to be noon, and he sort o' guess at de row to see how soon it ain't likely to be done. Well, it ain't my lookout if de boss don't gie you no scoff fo, dat bit, says Jackals. I got you to work, but you can look fo, me to do it fo, you too, as well's my own. I can only 'pologize fo, you. You better get a bit wigglier wiggle on you if you want some dinner, anyhow, says he, and off he pops. Well, Wolf he tinks perhaps he had better hump hissif along a bit and make a kind of a shine anyhow. I ain't a gun to let no sich a skellum ha, to 'pologize fo, me, says he, and he yust lit into dat row like he wants to get de boss to let him opset wid his daughter. Den it come along to noon, and de farmer he come out to see what about de hoein. Jackals he pop up out o' de long grass and meet him. I was yust a comin' fo, de scoff, says he. Scoff fo, dat much? Says de farmer. And you too, says he. Well, says Jackals, we's a bit gone in fo, want scoff, dessay last days since de rinderpest, so perhaps we ain't a quite got into de stroke yet. But if we has a good dinner today, why den tomorrow, well, tomorrow, says he, and he turo out his bands like tomorrow, Dale yust scoff dairy hoen. Well, we'll see, says de farmer. You can come along now and get de scoff, and so day goes. Well, dis yer scoff turn out to be all bisquitey, bore bisquitey, and de boss he give Jackals enough fo, beaufet o dem, and Jackals he start back. Now on de way he see a bushy little bush, and he turo one bisquitey in deer to hide it. And on de way he seen anader little bush, and he turo anader bisquitey into dat bush too, and he do like a dat till he haunt ony one bisquitey left. And den he up and show Wolf dat leetle one bisquitey. Dat's all de man had, says he. One for hissif, one for his wife and childer, and one for us. But he's a gun, to have mo, tomorrow, he esses. I reckon he yust is, esses oh, wolf. Letting de hoe drop like he never had hold of it yet. If he's a gun, to get any more o dis yer lands hode den he yust is. How's I a gun, to ho toaco on half a bisquitey, esses he. And dis is de sort o yob you was so see dat you'd got it to keep us starvin', is it? Esses he. A whole 1/2 bisquitey, snorts he, if he wants to see somebody yust step on his shadda, dat's all. Well, 1/2 bisquitey, dat's a deal better'n de whole o 1 day widout no scoff at all, sniffs o, Jackals, mighty insulted. But den, never mind. I is a bit stronger'n you, anyhow. So you yust eat my half o dat bisquitey as well's your own, and I'll slip back and eat some o de corn I seen dropped by de barn. Deer's 2 tree grains dear yet if de birds ain't pick 'em up, for dis, and off he flops, lookin' yust as full o pious as a location predicant, parson, when he's got a good collection on a Sunday. Oh, wolf he feel a mighty sneak to let o, Jackals lose his half de bisquitey like dat, but he don't can heap it no how, and he's yust so ongry dat while he bite off his own half o de bisquitey he mess de yonder half de same time, and den he might yust as well eat dat half too, 'cause he can offer it to o, Jackals now when it's all must. And, well, de foos ting o, wolf no, gop. He scoff dat half too. But he feel dat mean dat he work dat hoe like steam to easy his mind a bit. All dis time o, Jackals he's a pickin' up dem bisquitey he hid in de bushes, and yust a blowin' hissif out, till he kang ani wink and harrelai stir his tail where he lie and bake alongside a stone. Well, it go on like dis for 1 day after anader, till 1 day along comes o, mensfrider, and he see o, wolf a hoen in de toaco, and he see o, Jackals a snuggin and a backin atween a bush and a stone. Watto, esses o, mensfrider. Here's 2, and he fair seizes 'em, and he offs. But oh, ta, interjected the little girl. What was that mensfrider like? Oh, he was one o desse yer beau constructors yo, Daddy tells you about. And yet he don't was yust a constructor neither. He was one o desse puff adders what spring 3 yards high and 3 yards far at you, quicker'n you, I can flash to watch 'em. Only he was de granddaddy of 'em all, and so he was bigger'n a beau constructor, and de same way he could strike 40 yard high, and 40 yard far, and 40 times quicker'n de biggest puff adder dat ever make you yump and run in de veld. And he yust grab desse 2 and offs wid 'em to where he live, and dat's de yonder side de drift down here. Well, de mensfrider he took de 2 out and look 'em up and down, top and bottom, as soon as he gets to his crawl. He feel o, wolf's bones and he shake his head. You is pretty fine drawed, esses he. You'd take 2 o you to make a shadda. You'll want some fatten, for you's good enough for a bile, let alone a roast. Den he feel o, Jackals, and he sort o smile all the way down his back. Well, you been have a high ol' time, ain't you, wid all dat fat on you? A week's feedin' on de berries here'll give you yust a nice flavor, esses he. So next day he gin 'em baskets. A sort o baskets like a bottle, so's you can open it, and so's you can get your hand in. you just drops de berries in, and den mensfreiter he unlock de lid and see how much you fetch home. And off desse two flops to pick berries. Now looka, me, s's wolf to jackals. You better don't eat too much now, else you'll get scoffed, for you know it. You better to get tint like me and den you'll live longer. I's just a gun, to pick berries till de sweat run, den mensfreiter ain't a gun, to wasse time eatin' me, I'll keep dat tin. Right I'll tink on, s's jackals, but he ain't no more'n see de berries in de sun dan he wink to his nose end. I's fat, s's he to hissif. I's fat, and I's a goin' to keep fat mensfreiter ain't a eat me yet, and he had better hold his breet, till he does, neater, else he's likely to get black in de face, for he finis. Next he tis one berry, and otter dat he just about put one berry in his basket and 41 in his mout, till the uiche run all down his chest, and he feel dat good he just kang heap it but he fair stan, on his head wid fun like a wildebeest. Well, it come along to time to get back to de kraal, and just when wolf was fair a workin' and a snatchin' at de berries to fill his basket, jackals he sort center past de basket behind him and swap his own for it, just so slim and so quick dat wolf never dream on it. Ani when day start de kraal, he say, "Desse yer berries is mighty light, considerin' what a lot I picked and all," and he mop his forehead as if he's glad dat job's done. Dis went on de same every day. Wolf bring in just a handful home, and jackals a fat basket, till one day mensfreiter he wink at jackals. "You is a bit slim, ain't you, bringin' all your berries home and eatin' none, so's you won't get no fatter, huh? But dis is where I comes in. I just drops you inside dis hock," says he, droppin' him in an empty place like a pigsty, "and I fat you up wid 7 days' feed pumpkin like a little pig. Den we'll see if you don't make de finest kind dinner," says he. "And you, wolf," says he, "you's do all right sort. Just you keep on in de berries, eatin' plenty like you been a-doin', and den one desse days you'll be nice and fat too." Wolf he take his basket at dat and off out to de Bessie berries agin, and he wonner a bit. And jackals he stop in de hock and he begin to wonner too. Deers too or tree pumpkins, de finest pampine, in de hock wid him, dat's his scoff de day, and if he don't eat 'em all up, for night, den he's just a gun, to catch it. Well, jackals he look at dem pampine and he feel he ain't just a yearnin' dinner nohow. He look over de top de wall de hock, but he know it ain't no manner use to try and run for it, 'cause mensfreiter snap him back, for he get into his stride harali. It ain't just sich a fat time, bein' fat, arter all, tinks he, and he sort wish he had wolf deer wid him somehow. He look dis way and he look dat way, but deer ain't notin', oni de little pat, a runnin' down to de drift, and de drift a rissin' and a rissin' wid it keepin' on a rainin' and a rainin' up de river. It look mighty like jackals's name's goin' to be Mud dis time, and his tail just drop flop. Den he feel a sort quiet little twitch at his tail. He look round, sharp, and deer he see little clanky mousy. Would you bite me fo? S's o. Jackals, kind-o big, 'cause it kind-o give him a start wid makin' him tink it was o, Mensfrider had him. You's got all dese pampine, ain't you? An' I want to talk to you about de seeds for my dinner, S's Clanky, his eyes a shinin' black an' his paws yust ready to off, for you can swip you, tail. Oh, Jackals he know he can't eat de seeds hissif, an', besides he ain't yust dead gone on dem pumpkins nohow. He tink he might's well be a fine fella an' get his name up wid Clanky. Alright, S's he, if you want a dinner, why, dear you is, S's he, an' he sweep his hand up like diamonds is dust an' he's yust scatterin' dust down de wind. Den he lean up agin de corner o de hawk an' watch Clanky fair gnawin' dem seeds, like it quite do him good to watch it. Well, dis went on till de 7th day, an' tomorrow, Monin o, Jackals is goin' to be shove in de pot an' Rose. He gin to look down his nose some, specially when he look at de punkin o, Mensfrider drop in fo him to eat dis day. It was yust one punkin, only one. But it was de biggest old punkin you ever did see. If I did get myself wrop round de outside o dat pampine I'd be sorto fat lookin' anyhow. S's he, an' he smile kind-o mournful. Den up pops little Clanky. What's de matter, S's he? You looks like a location Kaffir when he been had a night on Kaffir beer an' den ha, to work next mornin', S's he. Well, S's o, Jackals. I never did work yet, 'cept to get out o work. But if I don't find some way o gettin' out o dis fornight, without o Mensfrider seein' me, den it's mighty likely I'd be glad to ha de chance to go to work tomorrow, mornin'. A bit rough dat, S's Clanky. If dear was any way I could heap now. Dat set o, Jackals to studyin', an' it ain't a minute or two, for de twinkle, gin to shine in his eye, and his tail begin to rise itself. Looka, me now, Clanky, S's he. Dear is one way, if you an' de rest o' you, people like to heap a bit. How's dat, axes Clanky? Dis way, S's o, Jackals. I cuts a hole in dairy pampine, an' den you. An' de rest turn to an gnaw an' scrape out de inside till dear ain't any yust de shell left. An' den, axes Clanky. Oh, den you'll see, S's o, Jackals. You yust get dairy pampine scrape out first, S's he. Well, S's Clanky. You ginus dem seeds alright, you did, so now we'll see what about dis yob. An' off he pop an' fetch all de rest o de mouses, an' it ain't hardly no time, for dey has dat punkin scrape as clean inside as de mealy pap pot in a bywonner's family. See me now, S's o, Jackals, an' he lift dairy punkin an' he drop it quietly over de wall onto de ground, outside, on dat side away from where o, Mensfrider's lyin' sunnin' hissif. See de drift down dear, S's he. An' see how high it is wid de flood. Well, once I get to de yonder side dat drift den o, Mensfrider kang folio, me. Floods is dat much good anyhow. Now watch, S's he. Wid dat he wriggle hissif out otter de punkin, just as flat as a new skun sheepskin, an', 'fore you could look twice he wiggle hissif right into de inside o dat punkin, till you couldn't see hide nor hair of him. Den Clanky hear him begin to sing, very soft and low, Pamponiki. Pamponiki, roll down de patiki. Pamponiki patiki, pampain roll. And dairy punkin begun an roo. Den clanky keep on a watchin', and dairy punkin find de pat, dat run down to de drift. Clanky watch yet, and dairy punkin keep on a rollin' and a swift until, bounce. It splosh and hit de water in de drift clanky watch, and dairy punkin went so fast it just swish right across to de yonder side de drift, and oh, Jackals he step out and snatch up a willow stick in one hand, and a big leaf in de odor, like a assegai and a shield, and swip. He begin to do a war dance, just a leapin' high and a chantin'. Oh, Mensfrider he lift his head when de punkin gun to roll. Oh, Mensfrider he kink his back when de punkin hit de drift. But oh, Mensfrider, when he see oh, Jackals doin' dairy war dance, swip. He whip hissif taro de air, and de first place he light was down by de edge o de drift. Dat drift was mighty wider and he ever tried it afore, but he see oh, Jackals a springin' and a clinkin' his heels together on de yonder side, and oh, Mensfrider he hump hissif agin, and swip. He strike for it to get dat Jackals anyhow. 40 yards was his everyday jump, and 60 yards at Noctmal. But dis day he bested dat more and double, and yet he don't do enough. Deer was a big rock a stickin' out o' de water, a long way short o' bein' across, and oh, Mensfrider come into it wid his nose, whack. Smack. Sich a bash and a biff dat it just drove his tail right on up into de inside of his head, and deer he was, all in a ball no bigger'n a watermelon, and he roll off into de water and down he go wid de stream. A rubble and a bubble, and a over and a pover, till he drownded. And dat's what happened to dairy Mensfrider, finished old Hendrik. And what did oh, Wolf do? Demanded the little girl. Oh, Jackals he shout for oh, Wolf to come along. But oh, Wolf he look at de drift and he look at oh, Jackals. Ain't you a comin'? Shouts oh, Jackals. What do I want to come for? S's oh, Wolf. All de berries I pick now I'll get a chance to eat 'em myself. And what do I want to come for? Eatin' berries is better'n hoein' tobacco for half a bisquitey a day. You goin', ho. I keeps here wid de Bessie berries. Besides, deer's punkin. And what did old Jackals have to do then? Demanded the youngest boy. Well, I wouldn't just like to say what oh, Jackals ha, to do, answered old Hendrik. But you can bet on what he didn't do, he didn't, ho. Quote. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.